everyone, this is Zibo and welcome to today's Guardian Tales video. So in today's expedition guide video, I'm going to run through how to maximize your point gains as well as what are the little tips and tricks you can use within this game mode to maximize your total score to allow you to progress to the next rank as efficiently and as fast as possible. So first of all, I would like to apologize because initially I wanted to finish up my third district before launching this guide video, but as you guys can see over here, I've been farming for quite a few days. In fact, since the start of this new game mode, I've been farming and I just couldn't find the proofs to go to rank 6. As you guys can see, I've already achieved the points total, but I just can't find the proofs for it. So that is why I cannot really show District 3 in today's video, but I'll just use my knowledge of the whole game mode itself to let you guys know what are the things to look out for in this game mode so that you guys can reach District 3 even faster than me. In fact, I think there's a bit of RNG factor involved to go to rank 6, and this game mode is really fun. I've been playing a lot of this game mode, in fact, on a daily basis, so I absolutely love it. And in the future, if there's a demand for other videos or if I have any interesting finds in terms of the other districts or even like a really tough battle, I might do a separate guide for this game mode itself. So that's how much I think this game mode is really good, like, because there's a lot of things I can talk about, in fact. So I will have to wait until third district before, you know, talking about what I feel about the boss fight and also provide some tips and tricks for the boss fight itself. But without further ado, right, let us start with the basics of this game mode, to how to score more points and how to reach the next rank more easily. Now, let me first start by disclaiming that this game mode itself is a time attack game mode. So having a whale stats, having max limit break weapons, having a lot of attack, having the optimal heroes as well as team setup for the game mode itself is definitely gonna guarantee you better success, right? And it's gonna guarantee you like higher point limit. If you do not have the most optimal team setups, it's gonna be very difficult for you to hit the 330,000 point cap. However, if you're just an average farmer farming for your relics as well as farming for all the different materials for your teams, then getting the 256,000 point cap is more than sufficient, because that will guarantee you the best quality box in terms of drop rate. So that is sufficient. So effectively, you only need 2 fully built up damage teams in order to complete this game mode efficiently. So I'll explain why later, but the thing about this game mode is, yeah, you definitely need the heroes, you definitely need the stats. So do not be discouraged if you're facing difficulties getting the highest score or getting to farm the highest quality boxes, because if you do not have all the above factors, right, you're just gonna struggle at the start. But slowly build up your heroes and eventually you will be able to farm for the best stuff and get the highest points possible. So this is the total scoring system. We have the monster kill score, the time remaining score, the surviving party member score, as well as the party switching score. So I'll start with the two most easy to understand scoring factor, and that is the surviving party member score as well as the party switching score. So for the surviving party member score, basically you just keep your members alive. The more members you have, the better points you will get for this category. I think the maximum range for this point is around 70,000+. I've never been able to hit 80,000 with it, so I doubt the cap is 80,000. So getting yourself about 72 to 75 range is probably the best score you can get for this part of the scoring system. And for the party switching score count, I think the maximum I've seen for myself is about 38,000, and this score count is also very straightforward. Basically, you keep on switching between your teams and then you will increase this score count for the scoring system itself. So I'm not too sure how they actually calculate this party switching score. Maybe it's per switch you get about maybe a few thousand points, but the exact numbers I can't really confirm on it because there's no details on it. But just know that if you're able to switch your teams and still maintain maximum damage output, then you should definitely do it, because this will give you slightly more score and push you to the better point cap. Next up is the time remaining score. So this part is where all the whales, all the people with all the different heroes as well as equipments and all the stats can actually maximize their score, because if you are able to finish the stage with as much time as possible, you're able to maximize this part of the scoring system. So right now on screen, right, 11 seconds time remaining grants about 50,000+. So I will say that every 1 second probably grants you about 5,000 points or so, and from there you guys can do your calculations, you know, based on how much time you will need in order to hit the 330,000 point cap, because there's a limit to your party switching score, there's a limit to your surviving party member score, and there's also probably a limit to your monster kill score as well, because you know, there's only so much monsters you can kill, there's only so much efficiency you can attain. So what I'm trying to do for you guys is to maximize your monster kill score, as well as, you know, talk about the different ways to keep your party members alive for the maximizing of the surviving party member score. However, for the time remaining score, if you do not have enough damage to kill the monsters fast enough, you know, this part is probably gonna slow you down, so do take note on that. Okay, so for the monster kill score itself, when you are in the actual battle, there's actually a score on the left hand side on the screen. So the more monsters you kill, the score will increase eventually, and on top of your characters there's actually a white number, and this represents the monster kill score multiplier. You can increase this monster kill score multiplier by killing the monsters and then collecting the yellow orbs that is dropped from the monster to increase the numbers on top of your characters. So with regards to yellow orbs, there's two separate events which will give you boosted yellow orbs. Number one is your usual monster event, which is represented by the rectangular box that you got to step into, and number two is your lava bug event itself. So when you step into the square box, you will spawn a lava bug, and after you kill it, you will get a massive boost in your multiplier. This is the same for the monsters event, so they will spawn all the elite monsters and then you have to kill them. Another type of monster that will give you a very high multiplier is your boss monster. So these are the few types of monsters that will offer you a great boost in your multiplier count, which will then give you more monster kill multiplier score. So the above is my usual points distribution. I'll try to farm until 264k to get the best quality box drop for my relic farming as well as other stuff. And yeah, you guys can refer to my point range and then make a gauge for yourself. So for my time remaining, usually I'll be left with about 11 to about 18 seconds around there. So my point range for time remaining can't really increase too much. However, if I want to actually go up to 330,000, I think I need a more optimal team setup, definitely, and I probably need more stats on my existing accounts in order to hit that higher point. So on screen right now are the optimal team setups for this game mode itself. For all three districts, these three teams are the stronger teams that are available in the current meta. So obviously, as you guys can see, the Cloud Dark range team, right, with Ogma as well as Kamel and Tinia, they are insanely powerful because number one, Cloud does a shit ton of damage, and number two, his AoE cover a really big area. So he's probably one of the best unit for this game mode, at least for this current season, because the optimal elements are dark, earth as well as water for district 2 and 3, and for district 1 we have obviously your earth and dark, so cloud as well as your water units or earth units together are going to be really good. So secondarily, if you do not have your cloud setup, you can do the melee side, so you can do Yuze lead together with a Beth as well as Lilith and either Lupina or Ray, because you need the critic chance buff to maximize your damage. So you only really need two teams, and the second team setup usually will be recommended, you know, to be paired with a water team. So Veronica, Garam, Orca and Nari on screen right now, they are like the strongest setup according to the top KR players. Personally, I run the dark melee team, but I do not have Yuze, and I also run the water team, but my water team is slightly different, as you guys can see on screen. So you only really need two teams, because when you do battle, you only need to switch between two teams which deals the most damage. You don't really need your third team, and you can equip your third team with relics that provides you with the bonus relic drop rate, because the DPS output from your third team doesn't matter, as you're probably gonna just like put them in the team tab and not use them. So you can roll for all the 5% relic drop and equip your third team with the relics with those stats in order to boost your relic drop rate. Now moving forward to the combat section, other than knowing when the unit will spawn and where they will spawn, as well as knowing their movement patterns, will definitely help you in terms of killing them ASAP to get more points. And at the same time, positioning yourself at a location where units do not get swarmed is also very helpful to maintain the life of all your other units, because you do not know how the AI units will position. So maybe staying far away if you're a range unit helps, and you know, this will also allow you to increase your score by having the higher survival member score. So in terms of this game mode, I think paying attention to the minimap is very important, because once the monster events, once the lava bug monster event spawns, you probably need to step on them immediately in order to spawn the minions and then kill them ASAP for the increased multiplier for more monster kill score. So this is one aspect which I always go for. Once I see the portal light up, I'll immediately jump onto them and then spawn the elite monsters for my increased booster. On certain districts where the lava bug event as well as the monster event appears at the same time, I will step on them both concurrently and have all the elite monsters spawn together and then kill them in one fell swoop for a massive boost in multiplier, and then go after the smaller minions. So this is one way I increase my monster kill score. I'm not too sure whether or not my 150k range is the highest in terms of the score I can get, but I guess it's pretty high already. Like, I just got to work on a faster time from what I can see from the other KR players. Okay, so another important part about the actual combat is the party switching. So when you switch your party, your whole team will actually get an invincible bubble. So you can use this invincible bubble to protect your team in case you get surrounded and you know one of your unit is probably gonna die. But my most common way of using the party switch is to switch between the correct elements when facing large masses of enemy, because you know, sometimes you get fire enemies, so you want to use your water team, and most of the time you'll get basic enemies for a lot of minions, so you want to use your dark cloud team to clear them as fast as possible. So it really depends on, you know, how you actually switch it. But there's one mechanics which is especially helpful when fighting the boss, and that is the chaining of your chain skills. So the chain skills of your different teams, they do not stack, and most of the time when you use your weapon skill on normal monsters, they will die immediately. But against the boss monster, you can actually chain them with your team number 1, go through 4 of your units chain skill, and then switch over to team 2 and then continue the chain from there. So you can effectively have a 8 hero chain if you time your stuff correctly, and this will allow you to kill the boss monsters ASAP and then get the multiplier ASAP as well. So all these different boosts in multiplier will allow you to increase your monster kill score, and effectively switching between your teams to abuse the invincible bubble will increase your team survivor score and subsequently increase your team switching score as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this guide video. Personally, I really enjoy this game mode, and I strongly encourage you guys to slowly explore yourself on how you can maximize your scores. Obviously, there are guides, optimal teams, as well as, you know, optimal units to use to max out your scores. But if you are somebody who really wants to explore this game mode, you probably want to, you know, create your own meta, you know, try to challenge the leaderboard. If you are a whale, you have enough units, enough stats, and get a fun out of it. Because yeah, PvE game modes are, you know, not, you know, they are not very replayable, but this game mode, in my opinion, has a very high replay value, and I've been playing on a daily basis ever since its release. So I hope you guys enjoy this game mode as much as myself, and I hope that this guide is helpful in terms of allowing you to understand this game mode better, to get a better score, to jump into the leaders board, to get a better relic farming efficiency. So thank you very much for watching. Do remember to like and subscribe in order to see more videos from the channel, and comment in the comment section down below what types of video you want to see coming from me in the near future. So bye bye guys.